Ferrari's golden boy Charles Leclerc lost his temper in front of the media. Both he and Carlos Sainz had a catastrophic Sunday at the Canadian Grand Prix, as their cars bowed out early, just a fortnight after their well-celebrated victory and double podium finish in Monaco. Starting from a lowly P11 and P12 after a tough qualifying session on Saturday, Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz found themselves grappling to climb the ranks from the midfield, and ultimately falling short as the race went on. Things went from bad to worse for Charles Leclerc when his SF24 started suffering from engine issues. In a desperate gamble, Ferrari switched him to slick tires on lap 29, even though the rest of the field stuck with intermediate compounds amid shifting conditions. The daring move didn't pay off, and the Monegasque driver was forced to pit and retire the car by lap 43 of 70. When asked to sum up his emotions after the race, Leclerc said, "Honestly, there is not much more to say, apart from the engine issue cost us everything. Then at one point, we tried to go on the slicks when we knew it was going to be more chances that it wouldn't work. But we had to test something because, with the engine issues we had, we would have been at the points anyway. And that was it really. After that, it was just extremely tricky to do all the engine changes that the team was asking me. At the same time, I was still losing a second and a half per straight. We've got to look into the engine issue, because that's going to be tricky for the rest of the season." During the post-session media commitments, Leclerc made it clear he wasn't going to stick to Ferrari's script. When shown the key talking points by the Ferrari press officer, he threw a tantrum, telling his people that he will say what he wants, and that's exactly what he did. After making a scene, he faced the media and shared his raw thoughts, saying, "Just slow all day. Similar issues also to this morning. I had like a senior issue, which was very annoying. The management of the session as well wasn't the best, I think. All in all, it's been a tough session. I would say that the biggest problem is the pace. We are so slow in the dry at the moment, we don't understand. It's a bit strange to go from a really good weekend in Monaco in terms of pace, and get here and be on the back foot. We'll look into it." Speaking to various factions of the media, Leclerc didn't hold back in his interview with Sky Italia. He told the Italian broadcaster, "I'm quite annoyed. Today, we simply weren't fast. Or rather, we didn't have grip, and we don't know why. Every time when we went out on the track, we were between 8th and 12th fastest. We need to understand why." Leclerc highlighted the engine issues as a key area for investigation, but urged the team and fans not to dwell too much on one challenging weekend. "I think we shouldn't overreact with the pace of the car," the six-time race winner said. "I mean, you've got good weekends, you've got bad weekends. Yesterday, we missed Q3 by 300ths. We were definitely not feeling good with the car, and we've got to work on that and try to understand what went wrong. Today, I wouldn't say the pace was bad. If you look at the first stint with a second and a half slower engine, I think we weren't that bad in corners, and we were strong. Just the engine was so big of an issue that we couldn't do anything. So as much as we didn't overreact after Monaco, we shouldn't overreact after this one. But this one hurts. It's big points for the team, with the two cars DNF'd, that we are going to lose against our competitors, and engine-wise, it's something that we need to look at." It was an equally tough day for Carlos Sainz, who found himself out of contention in the later stages of the race. A spin at the exit of turn 7 led to a collision with Alex Albon's Williams, further compounding Ferrari's woes. "Not a lot of pace this weekend, not even on the Inter tire. We expected maybe to be a bit stronger there," the Spaniard said later on. "But yeah, a lot of sliding around and no feeling with the car. Once it dried out, we were starting to make some kind of progress. I was also aiming to take quite a bit of risk to stay in the DRS train and overtake, and I did a driver mistake. Not ideal, not our weekend for anyone in the team, and we'll try and reset and go again." Alex Albon voiced considerable disappointment after the Canadian Grand Prix. His hopes for a point-scoring finish were dashed due to an unavoidable accident involving Ferrari's Carlos Sainz. And with the Spaniard heavily linked to move to Williams, this incident could have doomed their potential relationship right from the start. Despite having well-laid plans and delivering a wonderful performance under pressure, Albon's race ended prematurely. Sainz lost control and spun, causing Albon to get caught in the aftermath, ultimately resulting in his own race-ending crash. Albon said, "A disappointing end to our race today. Points were definitely on the table, and the car felt good on all compounds in the changing conditions. We ended up getting caught in other people's errors. That's racing, and I don't think I could have done anything differently." Sainz believed that he needed to take risks during the slick tire phase of the race to gain ground. He attributed his crash at turn 7 to this approach, saying that the competitiveness slightly favored him as the track dried. He viewed Ferrari's difficulties in Canada as a one-off situation, mostly due to a failure in preparing the tires correctly during qualifying. It was one of those races where the pace never clicked. We had some damage in the car from a couple of contacts that we had during that crazy race, but there was never really enough pace today to make any overtakes. Only when we went on slicks there towards the end of the race, I started to feel there was maybe potential for some points, and I was starting to become a bit quicker. I was just trying to take some risks to overtake people in the DRS trains to try and be close in Sector 2, probably touched maybe the wet. I don't know. It's a very strange way that I lost it there in mid-corner and ended our race. It was a very weak, very disappointing weekend for the whole team, because we never seemed to find a good pace. Much like his teammate, Carlos Sainz isn't overly concerned about Ferrari's troubles in Montreal. He expressed confidence that the team will bounce back strong at the next race, the Spanish Grand Prix. I think it's clear that this weekend, we were not on the right end of the pace, and we were struggling as a team. In any condition really, we seem to be struggling with the balance and the pace. I think it's going to be a one-off, and in Barcelona, we should be back where we are normally. Charles Leclerc wasn't alone in losing composure over the weekend. His own team boss Fred Vasseur and 1997 world champion Jacques Villeneuve had a tense exchange following a double Q2 elimination for the Scuderia in Canada. Vasseur later spoke to Sky F1 after qualifying, where Villeneuve, serving as a pundit for the weekend, told him, "Before the start of the weekend, I was convinced that Ferrari," and before Jacques could even begin to get his point across, Vasseur cut him off at that point, saying, "Yeah, but sometimes you are wrong." Villeneuve ignored Vasseur's snappy side comment, going on to say, "But I was convinced that you had all the ingredients, that this track was perfect for Ferrari with the slow-speed corners, change of direction, and it didn't work out." With the Circuit de Villeneuve being resurfaced before the 2024 Canadian Grand Prix, Villeneuve asked Vasseur if the new asphalt or the track temperatures might have played a role in Ferrari's Q2 exit. Vasseur responded, saying, "No, new asphalt is the same for everybody. I think the conditions are a bit extreme with the drops of rain and so, and the cold conditions, and it's really difficult to switch on, but it's not an excuse at all. The conditions are the same for everybody, and we have to deal with the conditions." Vasseur confirmed that Ferrari's decision to use used soft tires for their final Q2 run was not a calculated risk that backfired. Rather, it was due to not having another new set available. "We didn't have a new set anymore. The last one you get it for Q3, he clarified. "We are all in the same situation, except Mercedes, because they put just one set on Q1. What do you think? Does Ferrari's disaster weekend ruin all the progress they made? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe and ring that notification bell for the hottest F1 news.